Good day, everyone. This is Mercy. Today, we'll be looking at the life of Jeroboam 1. The life of Jeroboam 1. We'll be looking at the book of 1 Kings chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14, and chapter 15. And also the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 13 from verse 3 to 20. First, let's look at the meaning of Jeroboam 1. Jeroboam means one who opposes the people, meaning someone who opposes the people. He was an Ephraimite, son of Nebat, and father of Nadab. He ruled Israel for 22 years. Jeroboam was called by the people and made king over all Israel, aside for the tribe of Judah only. This was to fulfill the words of the Lord, which he spoke to Solomon, that the tribes of Israel shall be collected from his son and only one tribe shall be given to his son. So after the death of King Solomon, only one tribe was given to the son of King Solomon, Rehoboam, the tribe of Judah, and the remaining king tribes were given to Jeroboam 1. So Jeroboam started ruling Israel, and in order to prevent the people from turning back to David through his grandson Rehoboam, he built 2 calves of gold to represent the Lord. He kept one at Bethel and the other at Dan for the people to worship them. On the 15th day of the 8th month, King Jeroboam organized a feast for the people of Israel and went up to the altar to make offerings. And the Lord sent a prophet to Bethel, where the king was making the offerings. And the prophet went to the altar and said, "O altar, altar, thus says the Lord, behold, a son shall be born to the house of David, by name Josiah, and he shall sacrifice on you the priests of the high places, who make offerings to you, and human bones shall be burned on you." And he gave a sign which proved the Lord had spoken. He said, "Behold, the altar shall be torn down, and the ashes that are on it shall be poured out." When the king heard this, he stretched out his hand from the altar and said, "Seize him!" Immediately, the very hand that the king stretched out dried up, or should I say, it withered, that he could not draw his hands back to himself. Then the altar was torn down, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the signs given by the man of God. And King Jeroboam asked the man of God to entreat the favor of the Lord and to pray for him, so his hand could be restored. So the prophet prayed for the king, and his hand was restored back. The king offered him bread, offered him entertainment, but he rejected the king's entertainment, the king's offer, and even went another way, not the same way he came into the land of Bethel. The prophet died on his way. That is a different story on its own, and we are going to look at the story of the minor and major prophet another day. Jeroboam did not turn away from his evil ways. Instead, he ordained priests of the high places, and thus became sin to the house of Jeroboam. At that time, Abijah, son of Jeroboam, fell sick, and he told his wife to disguise herself so it won't be known or discovered that it is the wife of Jeroboam. Their son's sickness was as a kind of punishment to Jeroboam. Punishment from God. So Jeroboam sent his wife to Shiloh to go find Ahijah, the prophet who said to him then that he should be king over the people of Israel. He said to his wife, "Go find Ahijah the prophet, for he will tell you what shall happen to this child." Ahijah could not see. His eyes were dim because of his old age. And the Lord said to him, "Behold, the wife of Jeroboam is coming to inquire of you concerning her son, for he is sick. Thus shall you say to her." When she came in at the door, he said to her, "Come in, wife of Jeroboam. Why do you pretend to be another? I am charged with unbearable news for you. Go tell Jeroboam, because I exalted you from among the people and made you leader over my people Israel, and tore the kingdom away from the house of David and gave it to you. And yet you have not been like my servant David, who kept my commandments and followed me with all his heart, doing only that which was right in my eyes. But you have done evil above all who were before you, and have gone and made for yourself other gods and metal images, provoking me to anger, and have cast me behind your back. Therefore, I will bring harm upon the house of Jeroboam, and I will cut off from Jeroboam every male, both bound and free in Israel, and will burn up the house of Jeroboam. All shall be gone. Anyone belonging to Jeroboam who dies in the city, the dogs shall eat, and anyone who dies in the open country, the birds of heaven shall eat. For the Lord has spoken. Go to your house. Once your legs enter the city, the child shall die, and all Israel shall mourn and bury him. The Lord will raise a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam, just as the prophet said to the woman. Immediately her leg stepped into the city, the child died. Jeroboam ruled Israel for 22 years, and he also died. After his death, his son Nadab ruled Israel for just 2 years before his own death. That is also another story of its own. So that is all for the life of King Jeroboam I. Thank you all for listening. I remain my humble self by your mercy. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also like and follow my Facebook page, M Channel.